Good morning. Good morning. What's happening, fam? L.A.R movement still moving. Identifying the enemy within. I guess it would be within the community. I'm just saying within. Um, it seems to me that we've lost our code of conduct. Like it's not like we never had one. It's just we've lost it. And in that code of conduct, um, you were able to identify the enemies within. Because see, you um, can't deal with any outside forces until you deal with the inside forces. That's why the country has a thing against treason. Like you traitors need to be dealt with, right? So this is what this is about. And some people don't know how to identify them. So I'm gonna give some things, you know, whatever. Excuse me. Predators. This is what you would call your criminal element. People who take advantage of situations negatively. When people want to talk about, your killers, your rapists, your drug dealers, your gangs, your crooked cops, your how can I say this? Your manipulators, your clergymen going astray. Um, the type of people who use their position and information to prey on the weak. They are the enemy of the community, okay? Which go hand in hand with the excusers. See, if something wrong happens and you acquiesce and say, "Oh, just let it go. Oh, don't be like that. Oh, violence is never the answer. Oh, let God handle it. Oh, I'm gonna pray for it. Oh, they just don't understand. They need somewhere to learn." And you actually let the person off the hook who actually did something that needs to be reprimanded and needs to have consequences to those actions. You are an enemy to the community, because not only did you're an accomplice to what happened, whether it's before or after the fact. Using that and moving forward. People who are on the fence. And what I mean by people who are on the fence, you can't be a Christian nation, right? Christian, God-fearing nation, right? A nation that believes in right and wrong, and you're on the fence about if something's right or wrong. Okay? Those people, you know, oh, was this right or wrong? Well, it's complicated. It's not real. Okay, fine. I can understand it's complicated. Is it complicated right, or is it complicated wrong? Well, you see, it's all convoluted and it's all gray area, and everything could just be something very ambiguous. Ambiguous people leave the code of conduct to have no structure, because if everything is ambiguous, there is no right or wrong. There's just free for all, no structure, no discipline. It's just everything could just, like Stevie Wonder when he's singing, everything is just, you know what I'm saying? That. Uh, Past that, manipulators. And what I mean by manipulators is people who, I would say, who would um, manipulate a situation. Pimps are manipulators. Public activists who will leave you hanging privately are manipulators. Okay, the quote unquote elder leadership who gets into the position to help the community, and then all of a sudden just leaves the community behind. Those are manipulators. They created a situation to get over on, and they weaseled their way in, and then on a community front and went out for self. You know, kind of to the degree. I mean, if you want to use the biggest example right now, you could say the president. This is about hope and change. Not to say he hasn't dealt with people who are purposely and actively and organized to make sure everything he does doesn't work. I understand all of that, but what people thought hope and change meant is completely different what they got. So when you do that, you're a manipulator. You know, playing on people's emotions. The people who play on people's emotions. People who play on people's lack of intelligence. The people who play on people's um, intelligence and marginalize them, which I will go to next, which is an enemy of the community. People, the marginalizers, the people who actively try to make sure somebody is looked at in a small way. You know, if somebody's making sense, they crazy. If somebody's intelligent, nobody gonna listen to them. Who is that? Who are they? They're not cool. Okay. All right, fine. You know what? They're very dismissive. I would say that. He's a man. You know, a man with, okay. She's a woman. See, a woman with, okay. They're dark. They're black. So it's always a fucking reason to not respect their life experience. Your enemy. Because at the end of the day, if you were for positivity as far as the community goes, you would take somebody's experience and put it into the group aspect to figure out, okay, these things can happen. So I'm not going to minimize or marginalize what happened to you. I'm just going to gauge it along how close is it to the norm, right? Another aspect would be procrastinators. You know, why don't let's just wait? Give it some more time. Give it now. Watch this. Reconstruction era people felt like we ain't gonna wait no more. They were the beginning, fresh out of the slavery doctrine, fresh out of the slavery. You know what? We just gonna get it. Fuck this. We're not gonna wait on these people because they're not gonna do nothing for us. They knew it, understood it, dealt with it accordingly. Common sense, right? That's why Jim Crow came, right? And if you watch movies like Great Debaters, there's a scene where I forgot the young lady is. She looks gorgeous now. She grew into a beautiful woman or whatever. But she's like, you know, well, how long are we supposed to wait? Wait for when? When is the day coming? The day is never coming. And you got people right now who's thinking that the day for fairness and the day for change and the day for the justice system to work, or the day for America to acknowledge our quote unquote humanity in America is going to come if it just takes a little more time. It's never going to come because if it hasn't come in 500 fucking years, I don't know what day you waiting on for it to come. Give me a date. Give me a date. Give me a date. If you can't give me a date, I want to hear it. It's just like procrastinate. You know, one day I'm gonna go to school. One day I'm gonna get an education. One day I'm gonna graduate. One day I'm gonna be a millionaire. I don't want to hear all that fucking shit. What is your plan to be a millionaire in 5 years? If you wanted to be a millionaire, what is your plan to graduate college in 6 years? See, if you give me a date, then I can say that you're actively you have a plan and actively pursuing that plan to come to fruition. If you're just saying one day, then you don't want anything to change. Along that, pacifists. There's a difference between being nonviolent, militant, nonviolent, and pacifist. You could be militantly nonviolent, but not be a pacifist. So for all you people out there who are pacifists, you got to ask yourself, you're acquiescing to the same treatment over and over and over again. So you're enemy to the community in the sense of you want the same thing to happen next week. No, I don't. I don't believe that all these other things are the answer. Okay, everything you believe is the answer is not the answer. If you just be nonviolent and peaceful, they won't do nothing to you. Martin Luther King got shot like that, right? If you be militant like Malcolm X, you know what's gonna happen? You're gonna get killed. Didn't they use people from within the community to do that? That's why I'm making this video about the enemies within. See, they couldn't. In that scenario, he got killed also. Bottom line. But in that scenario, it was an inside job too. It was an outside job. It was paid for as an outside job, same way King was. But it was an inside job as far as the people who did it. So you got to know who the enemies among us. Just like Malcolm X knew, we got some brothers here, we got some enemies. He said that at speeches. And people, get your hand on my pocket. God damn it, an enemy. There you go. Now, we got people who are unrealistic. Unrealistic people are enemies to the community because of this. Look, if people say we need to, get back to our prominent economic days of, Black Wall Streets and Chicago and Rosewood and Greensboro and Winston-Salem, Harlem Renaissance. Man, I'm missing some. I think Omaha, New Orleans had it. I think L.A. had it because I believe so. I mean, Baldwin Hill still exists. I would say PG of creating an infrastructure and foundation that we can work with. And people say something like, hey, this time we need guns. And people go, oh, no. What happened the last time? I mean, they bombed the town and they killed everybody and nobody got paid, or for the insurance companies didn't cover it, the government didn't step in and reimburse people. There's people to this day who living on maybe about 100 years old, and they can tell you they never got a dime from the United States government or the state government or the city government or insurance and all that. I just said all that in a sense. But, if we do it today, it's not going to happen like that. You out your fucking mind. It's going to happen exactly like that. Be a realist. Like, plan. You can't, in your daily life, say, I'm going to hope for the best, but I'm going to plan for the worst. And then when people say enact a plan, okay, this is worst case scenario. And everybody go, we don't need to plan for that because that ain't going to never happen. You can't be black and believe that. Deflectors. Using Freddie Gray as an example. Freddie Gray is another case of police brutality. Then it's the protesters. Then it's the rioters. Then it's black on black crime. Then it's look at this smother. If people keep going, man, that's bad. That's bad. What happened to you? But brother, look that way. You go, huh? Yeah, that is fucked up. Oh, what about that over there? Yes, that is terrible. Stay on point. Because the person who's trying to deflect you away from the issue don't want the issue to be solved or resolved. And all this intertwines to one thing also. Ultimately, if a person is trying to solve a problem and you're trying to stop them from solving a problem, you're an enemy. And also, how can people with agendas outside of the issue, when you interject an agenda, self-promoters, I will say that, self-promoters can be an enemy. Because if I'm telling you that the drugs in the community is a problem, and you saying that, men need to stop beating on women, we'll get to your issue when we're talking about your issue directly. Don't drag it in there because I am approaching this and I am championing this cause. I understand what you're championing. Nothing's wrong with what you're championing. I will back you on what you're championing. But do not champion your issue, yourself, your brand on a cause that does not affect, that is not related to your issue, particularly at the moment. Because once again, deflecting, convoluting the issue spinning it into something else. Um, Another enemy, and I'm gonna end this. Ultimately, is people who are not family oriented. And what I mean by family oriented is it takes a village to raise a child family oriented. When everybody want to do it on their own, by themselves, and I got this, and can't nobody tell me nothing, you're detrimental to the community, because the community has no stake in the success of your family. You see, if you got this and can't nobody tell you nothing, and you will end all be all, then you can't ask for help on the back end because you isolated yourself. See, unity is not is about the absence of isolation, because isolated people are preyed upon, and all of this uh, in the same vicinity but isolated community is a problem. It's very much so a problem, because now you can't call on your neighbor. You can't call on your friend down the block. You're nervous that your kids are playing together because you don't know who they're playing with, because you don't know who their family is, because you're not unified. I say you, I mean we. We are not unified to the point where, oh, you over there? Cool, I know them people. They know me, I know them. If something go good, I understand. If something go wrong, they know where I'm gonna stand at. They know this whole scenario, right? And ultimately, I think everything falls in line once you become family oriented. I'm out.